Welcome back to the Bad Influence podcast, where we think outside the box and face uncomfortable truths. I am the bad influence that you need in your life, Bjordan Banderas. But let's start today's episode. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you took care of yourself? I mean, really took care of you. You might be thinking, I don't have time for that. Or I'm too fucking busy helping others. But here's the truth. If you're constantly putting everyone else first and neglecting yourself, it's only a matter of time before you burn out, right? That has happened to me. That has happened to my wife. And I'm pretty sure that it has happened to a lot of you. Let's be honest, right? Here's the thing. You can pour from an empty cup. There's no way you can do that. But the intangible truth is that you need to take care as much about yourself as you care about everyone else's lives. And no, that's not selfish. It's survival. So, it's fucking necessary. Here's one of the problems that I have been observing for a long time because I had this problem and I see people having this same problem over and over and over again. The problem is that so many of you and us in general have been conditioned to believe that self-care is selfish, that putting ourselves first means we're neglecting others. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. In fact, if you want to be there for the people you love, if you want to show up for your family, your friends, and your work, you have to take care of yourself first. You have to give yourself the same level of attention and energy that you so freely give to everyone else. You can just give yourself 1% of your love tank or your self-care tank, all of that. No, you need to give yourself 100% of it. And today, we're going to dive into why taking care of yourself is not only important, but mandatory. If you want to live a life that's full, balanced, and sustainable. I'm going to share my personal story, what I learned about self-care the hard way, because I always learn the hard way, and I'm going to give you practical steps to start prioritizing yourself without feeling guilty. Trust me, this episode will change the way you see self-care, and by the end, you'll realize that it's not selfish. It's essential for you to actually take care of yourself. So, what's the real issue here? Most of us have been taught that putting ourselves last is noble. The more we give, the better we are. But here's the catch. When you constantly give and never refill your own tank, you end up exhausted, resentful, and burnt out. That's exactly what happens. You probably felt it before. Helping everyone else, giving away your energy, your time, your resources, and when it's time for you, you've got nothing left. You have zero in the tank. I know this all too well because I've lived it. I used to be that person who was always there for everyone, no matter what. I would listen to other people's problems, lend them money, offer my time, and never think twice about it. Meanwhile, when I was doing this, I was neglecting my own fucking needs. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was exhausted, mentally drained, and quite frankly, resentful. Because I wasn't able to take care of myself. I was taking care of everyone else, but nobody was taking care of me. I wasn't taking care of me. And the worst part was I didn't even realize that I was neglecting the most important person in my life. Myself. That's right. I am the most important person in my life, just like you're the most important person in your life. And maybe you've been there too. You're so focused on everyone else that you've forgotten what it feels like to take care of yourself. And when you're running on empty, how can you possibly show up for others in the best way? That's what we're talking about today. Why caring for yourself isn't just an option, it's a must. For me, the moment everything changed was when my wife got really sick. You've heard me talk about this before, but it was a pivotal time in my life. I was so focused on taking care of her, so consumed with her health, that I completely neglected myself. I stopped sleeping well. I wasn't eating right. I was moody, tired, and snapping at everyone around me. I was giving everything to her care, but at what cost? I couldn't even take care of myself. And being the curious person that I am, I wonder, how come I feel like this? Because I needed to feel better. I needed to give 100% to be able to take care of my wife. And turns out that I was always the person people called when they needed help. But at that moment, when my wife got sick, I realized something. If I kept living like this, I wouldn't be able to take care of anyone. Not my wife, not myself, not anyone. I was pouring all my energy into others without ever taking the time to refill my own tank. And it hit me hard. It was a hard realization, let's be honest. Like, when you understand this, it gives you like a slap in the face. I couldn't keep going like that. I had to make a change. And so I did. I started cutting out the toxic people who were draining me. You know the type. The ones who always need something but never give anything back. I'm talking about those. Family members, friends, anyone who wasn't bringing value to my life had to go. I was like, these motherfuckers had to go. It was hard. It was so fucking hard, but it was necessary as well. Once I started letting go of the people and situations that were pulling me down, I began to have more energy. I started focusing on myself for the first time in a long time, and it felt good. So I took that energy and put it into things that made me feel good. Working out, meditating, eating better, and reading books that inspired me. I started listening to people like Tom Bilyeu and Eric Thomas, people who were doing what I wanted to do. And it actually helped me a lot because I followed their advice, I followed their example, and I was like, damn, I'm able to change my fucking life, so let's do it. And slowly, by doing this, I began to rebuild myself. But here's the thing. I had to learn that self-care wasn't selfish. It was survival. And if I wanted to take care of others, I had to start by taking care of me. I realized that self-care isn't just taking a break or pampering yourself. It's about creating a life where you prioritize your health, your energy, and your mental well-being every single day. It's about recognizing that you matter just as much as the people you're taking care of. That's right. You also matter the most. And when you start doing that, when you start doing what I'm talking about, everything changes. One of the first things I did was to cut out the noise. I distanced myself from toxic people and situations that were dragging me down. You can't heal or grow in a negative environment, right? So if you're surrounded by people who are taking from you without giving anything back, it's time to reevaluate those relationships. If they have to go, let them go. If they're draining you, if they're calling you and dumping all their shit, their emotional baggage on you, let them go. They're not worth the time. Because if you're dealing with a person that calls you, gives you all the negative in their life, like this is what happened, blah, 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 they don't let you talk, and then by the end of the call, they feel good. They're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better because I'm talking to you. and by the time that you hang up, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed because I just talked to this bitch that is complaining like a 5-year-old, even though she's like 30. I know this has happened to me and my wife, so that's what I'm reliving an experience in this situation. So that's what happens. If that happens, if you know that person in your life, if you have that person in your life that does that to you, let them go. They have to fucking go. I don't give a fuck who they are. They have to go. Or you have to distance yourself from them and have this fucking wall in the middle, stronger than the border wall, unclimbable, unpenetrable wall, and they cannot cross it unless you let them. Next, I made self-care non-negotiable. For me, that meant going to the gym, eating healthy, meditating, and focusing on activities that fuel me. But self-care looks different for everyone. Maybe for you, it's taking 30 minutes every morning to have some quiet time. Maybe it's journaling, reading, or going for a walk. The key is finding what works for you and making it a priority. And let me be fucking clear. This isn't about being selfish. It's about making sure you're in a place where you can give others without sacrificing yourself. If you're not taking care of you, how can you be there for anyone else? How can you give from an empty cup? You can't. That's the answer. If you think you have an answer for these questions, oh, fuck yes. Please share it in the comments. I want to hear this because nothing worked for me until I decided to change. So I want to hear your story. I want to hear how you deal with this because I'm like, shit, did I miss something? If you know how to deal with this, oh, I really do want to know. So, what can you do to start prioritizing yourself? Good question. First, take a step back and evaluate where your time and energy are going. Make a list of all the things that drain you, whether it's toxic relationships, overcommitting at work, which is something that we do a lot, or even just negative thought patterns, and start cutting those things out. Second, create a self-care routine that works for you. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can start small. Maybe you take a 10 minutes a day to meditate or journal. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you start working out a few times a week or make a commitment to eat healthier. The point is to do something every day that's just for you. Something that refills your energy and makes you feel good. Makes you feel like you're taking care of yourself. It gives you energy. It re-energizes you. Third, this is a hard one. Set boundaries. I know, right? It's hard. You don't have to say yes to everything. It's okay to say no. In fact, it's sometimes necessary. So when that person calls you and is trying to drain your energy, dumping all this shit on you, you can say like, whoa, slow your fucking roll. I don't have time for this shit. I have other things to do. I have more important things to do. And if the person goes like what? Like taking care of myself. Go dump your fucking shit on someone else. And all you have to do is hang up. If you're like me. If not, just be like, not today. Talk to me in like a few days or whatever. But just do that. When you set boundaries with your time and energy, you're telling yourself that you matter. You're telling yourself that your well-being is just as important as anyone else's. And finally, give yourself permission to rest. You don't have to be productive all the time. You don't have to be there for everyone 24/7. I used to do this. People will call me 24/7 just to dump their shit on me, all their fucking issues, all their fucking problems, like they were looking for solutions from me. 24/7. They will call me in the middle of the night all the time. And I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to be there for them. But then it fucking drained me. So it's okay to take a break, to step back and to focus on yourself. You're not laying anyone down by taking care of you. And you may be thinking, But Jordan, if I focus on myself, who's going to take care of everyone else? I ask this question because my wife and others have said that to me. And to that, I say, who's going to take care of you? If you're constantly giving to others without taking care of yourself, you're going to burn out. That's the only thing that's going to happen. That's the only result that you're going to see. You're going to reach a point where you have nothing left to give. And when that happens, not only do you suffer, but the people who rely on you suffer too. So, let me tell you this. The most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. If you're not prioritizing your own well-being, no one else will. If you want to be there for your family, your friends, your work, you have to start by being there for yourself. It's not selfish. It's survival. And I want you to understand that. Because I know firsthand how hard it can be to shift your mindset. To go from constantly putting others first to finally taking care of yourself. But trust me, once you start prioritizing yourself, everything else gets better. Because you have more energy, more patience, and more capacity to show up for the people who matter most. So here's my challenge to you. Start today. Take one step, no matter how small, toward taking care of yourself. Whether it's saying no to something that drains you, like a phone call, hanging out with someone that just complains, taking 10 minutes to meditate, or saying boundaries with someone who's been taking advantage of your time, just do something for you. Listen, I get it. It's hard to shift your fucking mindset when you spend so much time putting others first. And so that's normal. But let me tell you this. You deserve to be taken care of. You deserve to feel good, to have energy, and to live a life that's fulfilling. And that starts with caring for yourself as much as you care for everyone else. It's time to stop feeling guilty for putting yourself first. You're not laying anyone down by taking care of you. In fact, you're setting yourself up to be an even better friend, an even better partner, and a better leader. So stop waiting. Start prioritizing yourself today and watch how everything else in your life improves. Because that's one of the things that I want you to do. To be able to improve your life just like I did. These are the steps that I took. And this is what helped me. This is what has helped my wife, some of my friends, some of my clients. And now I'm giving you that blueprint. Like I always say, this is just a fucking blueprint. This is some of the steps that work for me. If they don't work for you, tweak them. Make them your own. Make them your own and create the routine that works for you. And that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Bad Influence podcast. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let's spread the word that self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary. Until next time, take care of yourself, prioritize your well-being, and keep pushing forward, and have a great day.